Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are adding another layer to the garden. So behind me, if you didn't watch the last video, I've already got some like really big, beautiful shrubs in place. This is, I always say like shrubby layer first. And now that I have that, it's time to start working in perennials, tubers, and a few little things. So in front of me, I have a collection of plants that I picked up at Wyncliffe. This is Dan Hinckley's nursery. And what I've decided to do is I've decided to create this palette that I'm still struggling to like exactly name. It's like sunsetty jewels. It's like, I don't even know what it is. But I will pop a couple of colorway inspirations that I am pulling from for this particular garden. So without much further ado, if you want to see each individual plant, I did go through them at the end of that Dan Hinckley video, but we're going to start playing with placement. I also have something else I'm bringing in. Oh! Dun, da, da, da. Okay. Let's walk it back. Friends, this is the next addition to the garden. Okay. You know how I don't usually show my side yard? It's because I have stuff like this laying in it. This is a used to be black, starting to rust, and I'm not mad at it, little trellisy topiary thing. This used to live at my brother's house. He and his husband, they very much are leaning into this forested Bainbridge Island aesthetic. I actually toured a mini part of their garden. I'll pop that below because it was like really, really awesome. But this is not their jam. And so they messaged me and they're like, hey, we're pulling this out. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And then I proceeded to hang on to it for like 2 years. But I feel like something like this is so fun. And one thing that I feel like this back border just like has to have for me is roses. Also, I feel like it has to have maybe a clematis, but I don't know if the clematis is really gonna like my soil. It's like the Sahara Desert down here. But anyways, this is a beautiful structural item. I love that it's reclaimed. I love that it didn't go into the dump. And this is going to anchor this corner here to my left. Currently, I have some rogue dahlias just growing there. And so I'm gonna pop this straight over top. But I like that I'm gonna add a bit of a climby, viney element. I want something very whimsical. And I think this is gonna be a great structure because once the rose takes over, you're just gonna see that cute finial at the top. And I love what that might bring. I'm gonna place this in the corner. I'm just gonna pop it right down over the dahlias in case I don't purchase a rose until this fall. And we're gonna start playing with some plant placement. Oh. Graceful, graceful, I tell you. Okay, not bad. I mean, it for sure needs to be covered, right? I don't think I just want this like hanging, right? I guess I do have some free dahlias here. I think this is my weird Joey Winnie one that actually isn't Joey Winnie, so I do think I want to pull it, but that's good for now. Trellis is in. Next part of the process, I'm actually going to start placing some plants. And what I think I want to do is I want to start with my dark dahlias first, because I feel like with my new 9-bark, my Panther Physocarpus, I want that dark element all throughout the landscape. So let's get those placed and then I'll move on to the little guys. When I place plants, I always go like biggest to smallest. So the dahlias should reach about 4 feet tall. And so next I'm gonna move on to my salvias and my nepeta. And then I will work my way down to my astrantia and my asters and a few little extra bits I've got lying around. Oh, that one's budded. You guys, first bud. Oh man, I cannot wait. That is so exciting. I'll go there. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna play with something here real quick. I really love that combination right there. I need more of these. Actually wonder about that. Let's see. I really like that combination. But if I put it here, I kind of need this one down here. I have a lot of space here, a lot of space here. I have one other item in my hot little hands here that I brought over from the shop. To give a little backstory, I used this scabiosa at the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival. This got shoved kind of like to the back of all the plants needing to be cared for, yet is still blooming its little head off. So I have I think I've got like 6 of these, and they aren't looking the best. I will admit, they aren't looking the greatest. I had to re-put them in like pots, and anyways, it was a slow recovery from the show. But I just started playing with this color with some of the deeper tones. Even this color with the Astrantia Star of Love, which is like a deep cranberry raspberry. And I don't know why, but this is working. Having a few shots of cool in my landscape is looking really good. And then also, I placed this next to the Panther 9 bark. It looks so good. This is just a very unexpected combination. So I'm gonna put one of these down, but I have a feeling that I'm actually gonna go back to my shop and I'm gonna rescue more of these, and we're just gonna start putting them in the landscape because I do have a lot of space to fill. But I think this is making the cut. Okay, we're stopping here first because I want to show you these colors. This is one of my containers that I did on the back patio, and the intention was to create a very perennial container that I could also transplant into the landscape because I am loving this deep, deep geranium color. I am loving Totally Tangerine, and look at this. I did not think that these two were going to play well together, but there's something about kind of like the cool silverness of this scabiosa that is really doing it. In fact, let me just pick one of these geranium blooms. Okay, I just picked one of these geranium blooms to kind of like give a little hint of where I'm going. I feel like the only thing missing here is like a beautiful, like maybe a saturated pink. Unsure, but I'm really, really enjoying this combination. Let me show you one other combo. Okay, friends, I'm showing you one other combination here. This is the Scabiosa, and I believe this is Giga Silver or Giga Lavender. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. But I have it next to the Astrantia Star of Love here. I don't know, you guys, but I'm loving this cranberry with this like silvery lavender. There's something really nice about this. The other thing that I think it does is the silver, when you drop it down here to the Stacky's Helen von Stein, or even this beautiful Spanish lavender, this is Silver Anook, for some reason, it is just like, it's really fitting the brief of what we're doing here. So you guys, I think this is going in. The other really good thing about rescuing these sweet little scabiosa is you can cut on them for days. They're an amazing cut flower. And also I think I have more than 6 of them. They aren't in the best shape. Like they're a little bit misshapen. But I know that I can prune them back and they're just going to spring back to life. So I'm going to find some sweet little spots for this one. And then I'll probably plant drifts of 3. That might be kind of like a nice number here. Okay, I'm going to put this one down and then I'm going to zip you through where all my plants ended up. Starting at the end, by the way, don't mind all the coils of drip tape or drip line because this is a working garden. But starting over here, one of the combos I really loved was this Salvia Heatwave Glimmer with this black dahlia. This one will have a white bloom on it, and I just think it is so lovely. I do have an empty spot here. This might be a good spot for a trio of Scabiosa. I also think it might be good for more Astrantia. So TBD on that. Next, here at the base of this topiary, like I said, right now I've got those weird, they're like not even Joey Winnie or Jowie Winnie, however you say it. They're like a mid-tone pink. It's just not my jam. Anyways, they're there for now, but they are getting replaced by a rose. Down here, I wanted to add a real carpety element. This one is the Snow Carpet Aster. So again, I'm really making sure I'm checking the boxes on all of my seasons. I think that is going to be beautiful. Okay, now coming over here, I have a similar combination to the one that I just showed you. So we've got the dark dahlia, we have the salvia as well, and then I have my astrantia right there. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to add more astrantia. I just had 2 left over, but I really like it. So we're going to add more. Moving on down the line. This is a bit of a centerpiece moment. So down here on the left, you see I have that ground cover aster. I'm really excited about that. On the right here, this is an ornamental oregano. It has a fantastic dusty raspberry bloom on it. So I'm very excited because I think what it'll do is that I think it'll pull the plumminess of this Panther 9 bark. Okay, to the left, I am dying over this Scabiosa. I think I'm going to bring over a trio in here. I'm not going to do a trio of Scabiosa on this side. I think that'll look too samey. So I'm in the hunt for something to fill in this area. TBD on what that's going to be. So this is going to be a very collected border. There is going to be a very fun, playful element to it, but I do want to repeat a couple of vignettes. And the Astrantia, Heatwave Glimmer Salvia, and the dahlia, I'm really digging on this combination. So this is going to be repeated here. Oh, and by the way, I do feel like I need to bring in a layer of irises because I love an iris. Okay, now down on this corner, I've repeated another white aster, this flower or this snow carpet, and I think it's kind of nice to have it scattered down the landscape. This plant, okay, this is the Nepeta. This is the new one from that Austrian breeder. Okay, so this one is the Nepeta Florina. Love this one. I'm actually mad I didn't buy more. This is an introduction by Christian Kress from Austria. Look at her. Can we even get over these blooms? It is so dusty. It's like got a hit of mauve, a hit of rose. This is kind of one of my favorite dreamy colors. I think it's just so spectacular. I only picked up one because I think I was panicked. I was panic buying. I wish I had more because I think it is really a stunning combination. Looks great with black foliage, looks great with that raspberry color. So very excited to play with that. Okay, do not have any ground cover plans yet for around my boxwood ball topiary, but hiding over here is the Syningia. This is the one that is called Arkansas Bells. And I am like, oh, you guys, it is so close to popping. Look at that. Now, this is a bit more corally than the other selections I have, but I think it still plays really well. Also, I think it has a really, really interesting leaf shape. And one thing about this plant is it's incredibly vigorous. And so if I decide I like it, then I can divide it, because look at this sucker. Down at the base, look how many awesome shoots it is sending out. So for right now, I'm just gonna have it in one spot, but this is like prime target for divisions. All right, last but not least, I've got two babies over here. So this first one is the Salvia Moorcroftiana. This one I just felt like was so interesting. It has such an interesting leaf shape. The flower spikes on this are gonna get really, really tall, but because it's such a unique, interesting plant, I want it close to the patio where I can really see it, watch it, and appreciate it for all of its beauty. And then, you guys, the journey continues. This is my Martha Stewart rose. Okay, if you know, you know. This is one of the saddest purchases I've made this year. The company sent it out flat as a pancake. It has really struggled to get established. I'm so proud of this foot tall growth. We even have like one bud here. I've got another bud here. And just as I was starting to feel hopeful about this rose, look what I spy here. Would you look at all of that mildew? I'm so mad, you guys. It's just like, I've never struggled with a plant like this in my entire life. So yeah, we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna put her in the ground. I've been hesitant to clip on it, but I think I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna give it a really good trimming back of a lot of these leaves, because it just clearly needs more airflow than we're giving it, and it's not looking healthy. So we're gonna get it in the ground and see if that improves its quality of life. Oh shoot, do we have my biotone down here? Biotone? Brian is feeling anxious to get onto other projects, and I was digging with my shovel and he's like, why aren't you using your power planter? And I was like, I don't know, it's in the house. I don't wanna walk all the way up there. So he did. All right, let's get these things in. It's dead! No! I didn't charge it. Dang it! All right. Good old woman power wins again. Looking real good. Woo! I didn't die. Just, I mean, the picture of grace in the garden. This is working out really well. So I started a new book that I checked out from the library, and it's by Olivia Lang. And it's called The Garden Against Time. And she said something, anyways, to summarize, I'm just starting it. And she's talking about essentially this new property that she is buying and how she fell in love with this very neglected, very rundown garden. And at one point she's talking about kind of like the design of it. And she makes mention of the conflict between designer and plantsman or plantswoman. And it really was this line in the book that made me stop, because I feel like that is my internal struggle at my home all the time. Because professionally, I've got, not necessarily rules, but I have made my own set of rules for how like design comes together best for me and for my clients. And also when I'm working on a space, I design it start to finish, right? Like professionally, I would never do this. I would never start a garden and not know exactly what plants I'm putting in where. And also, if my client did want like a little bit of freedom, I would pre-plan tinker spaces. And so to approach this garden and find my own line between gardener and designer, plantswoman and landscape professional. I mean, it's actually a really beautiful challenge for me. Because I do want my garden, my personal garden, to feel like a journey through my life as a gardener. And my journey in my own personal life as a gardener is one of memories and collections. And when I look in this back border now, I get to remember the gardening giants that I admire so deeply, like Dan Hinckley. And with this little scabiosa, I get to remember my Northwest Flower and Garden Show. And even with these hydrangeas and my Panther 9-bark, I love Blooming Easy so much. They're such a great company, and I believe in them so wholeheartedly. It's beautiful to have like a piece of that energy down here too. And also the fact that these are moonrock hydrangeas, it makes me giggle, right? It's like this funny little thing that Brian and I share with like our Moon Man statue. I don't know. These are just the thoughts that I'm having about like developing not just a beautiful garden, but a personal space. Here she is. All right. I've got the drip line laid out. I have kind of some compost raked around, and I have to tell you, there's something about getting a few of these projects done and plants in the border that really is giving me a lot of great inspiration. It's like I get these plants in, and then the next right step becomes clear. I want to show you this angle just for a couple things. I'm essentially in a border, you create lines that go from front to back. And each one of those lines may have a plant placed on it, or it cannot, depending on the size of the plant. However, I'm always staggering them in diamond patterns. So this first row right here, this has my ground cover aster. It has my ornamental oregano on it, okay? Next line back, this is where we're gonna see my astrantia, and we're gonna see my salvia. Now, exception to that over here is this scabiosa. I placed it just a little bit back because I just thought it was interesting. Next, right here in this back line, this is where my black dahlias are going. This is also kind of where I'm thinking of bringing in maybe some irises. You guys, I just don't know. There's something, I'm now feeling the need for a grassy texture. Maybe I've got a grassy texture there. Maybe I've got a little grassy texture over there. But slow and steady this is starting to take shape and the vision is emerging. I now feel like with these deliberate holes, I can do some intentional shopping. So like right here, I'm actually thinking, originally I was thinking I would put an astrantia there. I'm actually not. I'm thinking I put a little trio of scabiosas there. So another thing, do you see how I'm like really planting in these exaggerated zigzag shapes? With my perennials, I like to create a lot of triangles, right? Even when I'm planting in a drift, it's not like little ducks in a row. We're creating triangle shapes. This is like garden geometry 101. Here's another triangle, okay? We can keep going, right? Here's another triangle. You're gonna see this little cutie all by itself, but guess what? I'm gonna put in 2 more and we're gonna have an inverted triangle right there, and so on and so forth. In fact, down here, you can see I have this little ground cover guy here. I've got my Nepeta right there. And now I am primed for a perennial. Now I can do some perennial shopping. That's gonna go right there. And in fact, that might be where I bring in more astrantia because I'm really loving the play in color. Okay, let's wrap around the other side. Okay, now this is a side that really has a long way to come for it to be pulled together. I've got my syningia here. This is like a crazy new one for me. The rose, I'll show you what I did. I did a lot of pruning. I cut quite a bit out. I am still slowly but surely working on this rose's shape. It was really misshapen when I got it in the mail. Super disappointed about that. But I'm bringing her back to life. And then over here, I wanted an unexpected moment. So this is my my Salvia Moorcroftiana. Now, what I'm kind of thinking here is I need to bring in, well, the syningia, that echoes a bit of that astrantia, right? But now I need to bring in some other colors here. I feel I've got the pink of the Martha Stewart rose, so I need to now bring pink into the other parts of my border. But I feel like I need a little white something in here now. In fact, a white aster would be really cute right there. I don't know. We have a lot of choices. A lot of choices. I also think with the pink, I may repurpose some of the perennials from this planter. You know, in fact, that geum might be really good there. I might even start some Nicotiana and put it in there. The orange geum I think is going to be really fabulous throughout the landscape. The other thing that I could do here is if I have enough scabiosa, I could put some scabiosa in there and that might be cool. One last thing that just came up. All right, I have been playing with ideas for pathways in here. And I have not been feeling like I want a proper pathway down here. I think I'm going to do stepping stones. I think that's what's going to go on in here. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is still percolating. But what I'm kind of thinking is that I feel like with a sneaky squirrel pathway, I want it to feel deconstructed. So I have 2 thoughts. I could slowly but surely buy like natural bluestone pieces, or maybe save leftovers from job sites. Okay, that's one thought. Or, you know what I actually wasn't mad at? When I went up to Bloom Easy in Canada and I did that like 24-hour garden makeover challenge, one of the things that we did is we actually just went to a big box store. In this case, it was Home Depot. It was what was nearest and closest. And they had these like almost organic style poured concrete paper. They pour that was interesting to me because they had them in like 2 different pour patterns, and then you could kind of like shift them a little bit so you get like a really unstructured vibe. And I do feel like steppers and ground cover, that is kind of peak cottage garden, and so I may be looking towards that as a solution. All right, friends, a lot to think about, a lot to discuss. I may go to Paving Stone Supply in Seattle just to kind of dream a little bit. But I'm going to see you in the next one. And in the meantime, say hello to your garden for me.